Let's Go to Japan is all about you scheduling a trip to Japan. And man, it really sticks to landing on that theme. Let's talk about it. What does that even mean, Bowers Game? Ahoy there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another Thoughts from the Corner. I'm here with my good friends Adam and Ronnie. We're talking about Let's Go to Japan from AEG by Josh Wood. This is for 1 to 5 players. Take you 45 minutes to play, and it's for ages 10 plus. And AEG was nice enough to send me the super fancy deluxeified version of the game, which me and Adam have now played 3 times at 2, 3, and 4 players, and Ronnie has played 2 times at 3 and 4. Yeah, 3 and 4.
4.
Yeah, 3 and 4. So we're going to take you to the table, show you how it works, and then we're going to come back with our thoughts. This is what the player area for Let's Go to Japan is going to look like when you're first set up. There's a lot going on here, but really at the end of the day, it's quite simple. It boils down to the fact there are 3 main things that you're going to be doing every single round over the course of, 4, 8, 14 rounds or something like that. First thing you're going to do is you are going to draw cards. And there's 2 types of cards in the game. There's Tokyo cards, which you got the blue back, and then there's Kyoto cards, which have the pink back. That's important because you're going to be placing these cards somewhere on your itinerary, which is going to be down here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be placing 3 cards down here over the course of the game. So over the course of the game, you'll have 3 cards under Wednesday, you'll have 3 cards under Thursday, and 3 cards under Friday. And why Tokyo and Kyoto matters is that if you ever go from Tokyo to Kyoto or vice versa on your Wednesday trip, so for instance, thematically on Wednesday, first thing I did was I went to the shopping arcades and then I went to the Gotokuji Temple. And in order to get from Tokyo to Kyoto or vice versa or whatever, I will use one of these train tokens right here. Now, everybody starts with one of these train tokens. However, the more times you have to take the train, the more you're going to have to get these train tokens. And if you don't have train tokens at the end of the game, you get womp womp -2 cats. And the cat symbol is the victory point right there. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw these cards. And this handy-dandy little player board that's going to be in the center will tell you exactly what you're going to draw. So this turn, you're going to draw 1 Tokyo, 1 Kyoto, 1 Tokyo, 1 Kyoto, 1 Tokyo, 1 Kyoto, until you get to this symbol. Because the next phase you're going to do after you draw 2 cards is you're going to play cards. Or at the beginning of the game, you're going to play a card. You're going to take a look at these 2 cards right here, and you're going to say, all right, which one of these 2 cards do I want to play? Now, there's a couple different aspects of this card that you need to know about. First and foremost, in the top right-hand corner, that's just how many victory points you're going to get for playing this card down. So if I play this card down right here, no matter where I play it, that's going to gain me 4 victory points. That's a sweet deal. But it's also going to give you symbols. Now, these symbols are going to work thematically, and we'll talk more about it in the review section, just how thematic I feel like this game is. But essentially, these symbols at the end of the game, when you actually go on your trip, because you'll score all your points, for the most part, yeah, I think pretty much all of them, at the end of the game when you go on the trip. You'll go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you'll figure out your whole score. But what these symbols do are they're going to be moving these 5 tokens further along this track right here. And it's really quite simple. So for instance, if I move this blue one, 1, 2, 3, 4 spots, I'm going to get 4 points for blue. I'd have, right now, if this were the end game scoring, I would have 4, 8, 12 for these tokens, and these ones would not get me any victory points at all. So that's what those are up on the top. And you're obviously trying to get up to the higher spots because then you can get more bonus victory points. You'll also notice this red symbol right here, and there's also a green symbol that you'll see throughout as well. This one is going to be your happiness, energy, money spent meter, and it's actually this really cool tug of war thing because in addition to, so for instance, I see the Seihachiko dog right here, and I save some money because I'm just looking at a statue. Once again, it works thematically, I love. And when I get to this point of the week, because once again, I will have at least, at a bare minimum, 3 cards on every single one of these days, and then I will tabulate out my score, and then I'm going to move all these tokens. You don't really move them until you get to that phase, but this is going to be moving this track right here, so it would go 1 up on the green spot. And this is a really interesting tug of war one, because as you progress through the week, you're going to be moving this back and forth, and if you ever get to one of the faces, so let's say I had 3 happy faces in a row, let's say I had 2 negative faces in a row, then I somehow had 5 green happy faces in a row throughout my week. Once I get to one of these faces, I then go, boom, I immediately would move that up. This goes back to the center, and now I'm going to have 5 endgame victory points. Likewise, if after that, then I had, say 3 negatives happen, I'm going to go up here, and so at the end of the game, when it comes time to tally up your smiley face, frowny face, I guess your stress, I guess you might call it, you're going to add these two together, and that's a way you're going to get victory points. So that's another symbol that you're going to see on the top of the card. So you got those symbols up on top. You got some nice artwork. You got what I really love here, a brief description of exactly what this thing is in Japan, because this is all like real stuff that you'll see in Japan. And then the bottom is really where things get really kind of dicey and interesting, because as you're playing these cards, so let's say I play these 3 cards right here, you'll notice I'll see all the cards' tops, but you're only going to see one of the cards' bottoms, and each one of the cards has a different way you're going to potentially score points. So essentially what this means is I'm going to look at my trip. So let's just pretend that this is what happened on Thursday. So I am scored. I score my Monday, I score my Tuesday, I score my Wednesday, I score my Thursday, and then I get down to here, and this means, have I had 2 of these pink symbols on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday up until this point? I don't have to spend them or anything. I just needed 2 of those symbols. And if I have 2 of those symbols, then I'm going to get 2 points per this symbol that I've triggered along the way. So, if I were planning on playing this card out, I would absolutely, perfect. Like, this would be a perfect card to have earlier in the week, because it's going to get me, one of the symbols I need for here, but then it's also going to get me 2 points for one of those. And you're going to have a different scoring condition card at the bottom of every single day. And that's what really makes it interesting, because, those can be huge chunks of points. So we're going to draw cards. We're going to play a card most of the time. Once you get to the middle part right here, it'll say play 2 cards past 2. But most of the time, you'll play 1 card. So let's just pretend I play this card right here. Actually, I would probably play it right here. It would make a lot more sense, because you'll notice right here, there's going to be, at the beginning of the game, you're going to randomize these. And everyone will have the same randomization. And if you can get these symbols on that day, you're going to unlock bonuses once you place your 3rd card down here. So the bonuses are really clean and simple. They're listed right up here. So let's pretend that, this is a great example. So let's pretend we're later on in the game, and I place my 3rd card right down here. And it's nice because I don't have to use a train ticket or anything like that. But what's not nice is I only have one of these pink symbols right here. So I'd look up here and I'd say, all right, I've completed my Wednesday itinerary. I do not have 2 or 3 of that symbol. I have 1, which means I'm going to get to go up 1. And this is one of the few times where I would, go up immediately on that track. If I had 2, then I could choose the 2 bonus or the 1 bonus. But the 2, you get 2 of these, and these are super duper nice. These will allow you to draw more cards. So essentially you draw 3 more cards, and you can choose if you want 3 Tokyos, 3 Kyotos, or a combination of each, and then you discard immediately 3 cards, and then you'd play your 1 or 2 cards and pass. It's a great way for you to potentially get the exact cards you want with the exact symbols or scoring bonuses or whatever you happen to be looking for. And if you don't utilize them, they're worth 1 victory point at the end of the game. You can take 2 of those, or you could take one of these right here. These are really super simple. You hold on to these at the end of the game, then let's pretend that you got red all the way up to here. You didn't quite get it up to 12. You turn this in. It's gone now into the abyss, and you get to move up 1, and so it just bumps you up. So that's what both of those do. And then if you happen to get 3 symbols underneath it, so let's pretend, let's find an example right here. Yeah, let's say that our Wednesday looked like this. So we have all 3 of the symbols. This is spectacular. This means that once we place this 3rd card down, we can pick any one of the things out here. So the top one is going to give us a special train ticket. We have our starter train ticket, which we talked about, but this one will give us 2 victory points wherever we place it, and it will also give us an energy bump up, which, boom, is awesome. So these are super duper nice. Or you can take an additional walk, which is one of the coolest aspects of the game. So let's rewind a little bit. Let's talk about exactly what a walk is. So I played one. So I drew my 2 cards. I got 1 Tokyo. I got 1 Kyoto. I'm looking at these cards and like, man, these cards really suck. They're not going to be for me. What you have the option to do anytime you play a card is flip the card over and instead go for a walk, which is thematically, you guessed it, you going through a walk in that location. So you'd say, all right, you know what, these cards suck, so I'm just going to put this down on Thursday, and this is going to be me going for a walk. So the first thing you're going to do is you're immediately, boom, you're going to get one of these things, which is great. So later on, you hopefully won't have to take walks because you can draw cards if you want to. The second thing is, you're going to get rid of that card, and then you're randomly going to draw another card because you don't know what's on the back of this card now. So when you get to your scoring phase and when you get to the point where, you're starting to score your points, you actually don't know what you're going on a walk. It's a really pleasant surprise, and you have the option, do you want to keep this symbol and run a victory point, or do you want to go for a walk and see whatever happens there? And it's a lot of different fun. But essentially, if you happen to get 3 in a row, you can take one of these fancy tokens right here, place it up there, which means on that day, you have to have 1 extra card out there. So you'll be able to go for a walk there. Normally, you'd be limited to 3, but however, what you could do is you could do it like that, or if you really wanted to, you could do it like that. I don't think most people, you're probably not going to do it most of the time, because you're probably going to score more than 2 points on the bottom of these. But it's a great way to get extra points. So that's another thing you need to be worrying about, is getting the right symbols on the right days. You need to be concerned about your trains, because once again, how it works thematically is, let's just go back to that Wednesday where I spent all day in Kyoto. Well, if I'm in Tokyo on Thursday, guess what I'm going to need to have between here and here? And you guessed it, it's a train ticket, because you got to have a train ticket if you're going to go from place to place to place. So back to the 3 main phases. I draw 2 cards. So let's just pretend we're right here. I drew 2 cards, played this 1 card right here, and then you're actually not going to discard this card, but you pass it to your opponent, either on your left or on your right, and it's going to go into this area right here. So somebody might hand me their card. Well, they're going to hand me their card, boom, every time this time. And then once we get to this symbol right here, I will pick up all the 4 cards that the player next to me has been handing to me. So there is definitely some player interaction, and the more you really wanted to try and game the game and look at players' boards, you could do that. So you draw a card, you play a card, you might collect your day bonuses once you put your 3rd card down on a day, and then it's the end of the round, and you're pretty much just going to move the little token to the next track, and you're going to do this over the course of 13 or 14 rounds. At the end of the game, you will have 3 cards on every single one of the days. Some days, you might have 4 cards if you did go for that additional bonus walk. And then you're going to tally up the score, which is nice and easy and simple. They got this little travel journal, which actually doubles as a double-sided, thank goodness, player score pad, level double-sided score pads. And whoever has the most points is going to be the winner. And that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to be doing inside of Travel Guide. No, that's not. It's Let's Go to Japan. That's the name. Alrighty then, Let's Go to Japan from AEG. What are the final thoughts? Who wants to start with their opinions on this one? While we're doing that, who wants to start?
Yeah, I'll start. So, I really enjoyed it. There was lots of... it seems complex when you're first explaining it, but once you realize that the theme really comes through on all the things, it's like, all right, logically, what's the next thing? And I really enjoyed that about it. I have a problem where I get AP a lot, and I feel like it's held back on this game a lot, because there's just so many variables that can change. You can't really map it out, and you don't know what's going to happen next. So I really enjoyed that part about it, too. Components are great. I love the way it looks.
One thing you said about the analysis paralysis is that I take super quick turns most of the time for most games. And so I deal with a lot of that sometimes. And I think that this game actually, even if someone does have AP, it can be negated because of how interesting the cards are. I have no interest in Japan. I'd love to go there one day, but learning about Japan, probably not something to do in my books. But I found myself every single game looking through these cards, and there's tons and tons and tons of cards. Probably 100 plus cards, I think, in there, if not more. And each one of them has a specific location, and then thematically, the theme comes across this so dang well. It makes sense gameplay-wise, but then there's also this blurb on each one of them. So, like, say, I'm just going to grab, I don't want to grab a lame one like a temple or something. We're going to grab something cool. Like, yeah, this one right here. The See Some Cherry Blossoms. Cherry Blossom Viewing, known as, they have like a blurb here, a fun blurb about the sumo wrestling, or the baseball game, or the Kyoto Tower, or this, that, the other thing. So I think it even cancels out analysis paralysis in a really interesting way that a lot of games are not going to be able to do, which is cool. And to add on top of it, I think I love this game. I really like it. And the bottom line is, I'm incredibly excited to play the expansions. There's some mini expansions, which hopefully we'll shoot another video in the future on. One of which lets you start off with certain special abilities to thematically, you're a certain type of tourist, which I think is kind of cool. And then the other one lets you go to Osaka, which is like another location, and I'm all about that. More cards in this game I think are fantastic. Kickstarter deluxeification on this, completely unnecessary, as per normal with a lot of things, but super stinking nice. If you're looking into potentially getting the Deluxe Edition, the bowls, these are top quality bowls. I will use these bowls for everything in the future, and I hope they just I hope they just start putting these with every single game because I think they're licensed print money. You know, space-based bowls, ready, set, bet bowls. Do you guys think that this is a license to print money pretty much for them? Because people want to collect these too.
Yeah,
I think.
the bowls are really nice.
Yeah, the bowls are definitely really nice.
Depending on the price, I would buy them. I don't.
It's Kickstarter. Who cares about the price? What I'm trying to get at is gameplay. I think is great, and the deluxification, while completely unnecessary, everything feels. There's not something in this game that I think feels.
Yeah. Oh, super
weak.
high quality. Yeah.
It came with it's stupid.
Came with tape.
Came with a roll of tape, like an actual physical roll of tape that's Let's Go to Japan theme roll. Like, who the hell wants or needs this? There's like this really nice scarf, like super nice, that's hanging over there. It's like silk. Like, how nice is that scarf, Ronnie? You're not a scarf guy, are you?
That's a scarf?
That's a scarf. You want to touch it, don't you? You want to get up and touch it.
I do want to touch it.
You want to rub your face on it.
I'm not sure how I'd wear it, though.
It feels great when you rub your face on it. But yes, I'm pro on this. I really love the game. It, as Adam said, it definitely feels like it's more confusing than it is when you first learn, but it's super simple. There's only really 3 phases. I dig that. And rulebooklet's about the only thing where I was like, the rulebook I didn't think was great. It's serviceable, but I wish it were better.
There were times when you looked up stuff and you were like, oh, it was where it should have been.
But then there was also some times where it wasn't. It could be better. It's not the end of the world, but yeah. Nitpick.
Yeah, so I really like this game. I feel like there's some like push your luck aspect to it, but there's certainly ways to negate the luck, because even if all of your cards suck, you can just go for a walk. You can always do that. There's interesting mechanics in there. To me, it's kind of funny, though, how much you guys both like the theme, and I don't even see the theme, but that's just how I work. All I see is symbols and colors. Because that's how you actually play the game, is like you're trying to match colors and symbols and get stuff. So like I completely, for me personally, I just miss the theme entirely. Though I do see how it's there.
Okay, but you're still so.
Yeah,
I think that's even a better testament to the game that there's no theme here for you, but you're just like, yeah, these mechanics.
I like the game for the mechanics. After I played it the first time, I went home, told my wife about it. I said it had a lot of fun, so I was looking forward to play it again today. And yeah, it's a good game. I would definitely consider buying it for my home collection. So I mean, I really like the game.
Yeah, I love it because you're putting out the itinerary, and you're like, well, in my itinerary, I think I'll plan to go for a walk, you know. But you're like, I'll see what I find on that walk. So when you're actually going through the days, you go for the walk, and you happen to go by the go to Koji Temple, you know, and so you decide to go there, or you just keep walking.
And the best part about the walk, I think, is I would say probably 7 times out of 10. Going for the walk is going to be good for you. It's going to be better than the 1 point you get just keeping the card the other way, which I like.
It's not like some other games where it's just like, oh, you can't do anything. Well, this is kind of a garbage thing that you can do. Like, going for a walk is pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Scoring was simple. One thing I want to ask you is 2 players, 3 players, 4 players. I didn't really notice. I felt like it...
Yeah. It felt about the same anyway. Which, I mean, makes sense. You're not doing anything differently with the 4 players.
Yeah.
Except that in a 2-player game, you're just passing the cards back and forth.
But still, it doesn't even make that much difference.
Yeah,
I do think people... I could see some people getting analysis paralysis. There is one thing. I think people could really start... if you started to look to who you're passing the cards to too much, I think that's where analysis paralysis could definitely kick in.
Definitely do that.
And if you play this on a really routine basis, like if we busted this out every single week, I dang sure bet one of us would start being like, all right, I'm going to really start sticking this guy. Because you can also look at the colors and be like,
over there, all right, you're going to Kyoto.
Yeah. So there's even more game, I think, to explore here. End of the day, if I were, and I asked, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, because I feel like I'm someone who's a bit prone to analysis paralysis, and I never really felt like I had AP at all in this game.
Were you looking at what you're passing, though?
No, didn't even look at it at all.
Only at the very last game, when I was like, oh, what's Ronnie got going on over there? And it actually helped you that I sent you that one card. I was like, oh, he's in these. Never mind.
All right.
Pass on. I thought I was hurting him, I didn't.
Question we always ask at the end. If I were going to hand this to you, would it go to your collection? Let's go standard version, not fancy deluxified. You're not taking the bowls. Would you still want it in your collection?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm keeping it in my collection as well, and I think it will be my game of the month for March 2024, which I think is this month. Yeah, it is. So that is Let's Go to Japan from AEG. This is definitely one that you might want to give a whirl. I'm also hopefully going to be shooting a solo gameplay video. Probably not, though, to be honest with you. But I had one set up for an entire week. And then Just never got played. But let me know in the comments below if you could visit anywhere in the world. Money is no object. Where are you going?
I've always wanted. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I want to go to Dubai.
Now you're just gonna think I took it from you. Yeah, that's. I've always wanted to go to Dubai too, like the city full of cool architecture and stuff.
Yeah, real original. What's yours?
Yeah. This is why I tried to say it first.
Yeah, me too.
I went to Europe in high school and like traveled all around, but I don't think I appreciated it as much then. So I would go back to Europe.
Not
Bonanza,
Dubai.
man. One of these years, come to the Essen Bonanza. Let me know in the comments below. Where would you love to go? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.